VTT.
Hell yeah.
Technical deep dive, compendiums and shared module. Hi, today I want to talk about compendiums. So what is a compendium at a very high level? How do you create compendiums? Where are compendiums actually located? So where's the data stored? We can have compendiums coming in from different sources into our current world. And what are these sources and what are the ramifications with them? What are these insane locks and why can I store all my data in one place easily? Now, let's deep dive into that topic. Now, a compendium, for me, it's nothing more than a wrapper around a collection of entities. So, I have like a dictionary perhaps, or a book containing pages with content, with the difference that a page in a book can contain pictures and images and text and tables and whatnot. A compendium can only contain content of a specific type. And when I create a compendium, either by using the graphical user interface like the web server and the browser, or by writing a text file and a configuration, I need to specify what kind of entity should go into this compendium. So on creation, I specify that type. And that's immutable, it's always that type. If I say items go in there, then only items can be stored, no scenes, no actors, no roll tables or playlists, just items. If I want to store actors in it, of course I cannot store a spell in it, or an armor item, or a magical item, because only actors can go into that compendium. So that's the basic explanation. It's a collection of things, and it helps me manage my content into collections, not necessarily brought into the world, but available to the world. Let's create a compendium, and let's head over to Foundry to do it manually first. On the sidebar, the second icon to the right, the little book icon, stands for compendium packs. So when you click it, we can see all the compendiums that are currently available to this world. We want to add one. So let's create it. And we see that we need to name it, example, my monsters, and we need to choose the entity type. As before, we need to define that on creation. What kind of entities, what do you want to store inside this compendium? And here in this list we can see what kind of compendia we can create. We can create actor, item, scene, or journal entry, macro, roll table, playlist compendium. So you can have at least a little bit of structure given by the options here. So you will, for example, use an actor entity type. So only characters, NPCs, and vehicles can go in here. You can, little tip, if you get confused about all these entity types and subtypes, when you create an entity, like here we are on the actor tab or the item tab, you create something, then you can see these are the options that you've got available. So player character, non-player character, vehicle are subtypes of actor. And for items, you got more options to choose from. Weapon, equipment, equipment means armor or something that you can equip. Consumable, tool, loot, class, spell, feature, backpack. So item has a very large set of options. An actor has only NPCs, PCs, and vehicles. So when in doubt, always use item, and in 80% of the times you actually hit your mark. But you can look that up easily. So let's get back to the actor compendium. And let's see, I haven't created it yet. So let's create my townspeople, because you want to store all the people living in your small town in one compendium. When you hit create compendium, you can see the newly created compendium pack here. you can see that the sidebar divides the compendium in the entity types that they hold. Actors are these, items are these, and down below, not visible because of my beautiful face, journal entry. Only rules SRD is a journal entry compendium. So that's about how you create a compendium pack. To demonstrate what is happening behind the scenes when you click this little update button, I created a very small module, and you can see the structure of this module in the top right. So it has a source directory, a packs directory, it has a file module.json, and a language directory. We are interested in these two, like module.json is the descriptor of the module itself, who authored it, what is the description and the label to display to the user, which version is it, that's important because that information Foundry uses to actually check is there a new version available or not. And it contains information about which compendium packs are you adding to the current world if the module is enabled. So that's interesting. Let's have a look at the file contents of the module.json for a second. So cat module.json. We can see what I just told you: a name, a title, a description, an author, a version, and some language information. And here, this one, a compendium pack. So this module has one compendium pack. It has one of those blocks here. It is of entity type actor. The file containing the entities should be put in a subfolder named packs, and the file should be named monsters.db. It should be labeled imported monsters. So this is a very tiny module, just to show you what's happening when you press that update button. With knowing that, let's close it. I've got here a web server running, which will detect file system changes because it will happen super fast, and we cannot just like show the directory because it will instantly flash and we will see nothing. But let's do it. You can see on the right hand side the Foundry server, and you can see what he does and what's the result on the file system on the lower right. So let's update. Done. Module shared module demo was installed successful. Okay. Where we see Foundry states downloading package, it's almost immediately finished to 100%, and then it's installing package. Now that's the interesting part. And we can see what it does in the lower right. First we can see downloading package. Okay, he downloads a zip file containing the module into the file user data directory, modules, shared module demo zip. So on the root of your user data directory /modules folder, it downloads the zip file. And then it gets interesting because you see with the red color, it deletes everything it finds. So if the module is an update and not a new install, there will be some data with this shared module demo name. And he will relentlessly delete everything he finds under that name. Okay. Now we just saw, wait a minute, in this manifest. So let's do that again. Def and shared module demo in the manifest thingy. Here we go. That's our module basically. This is the contents of the zip file. We can see that the monsters DB was referenced in the module JSON. So if we look at that again, we can see that this monster DB is referenced here. Okay. So it's just a file. What does it mean? Within these packs monsters DB, everything you've put inside this compendium is put as a textual line. So just a line of text. this is Pete, this is John, this is the Goblin or the Trask. It's just one line in this file. And if we update, we will lose everything because everything is deleted. And when we look at the Foundry server now, so we go to Foundry data, that's my user data directory. And then we go to modules and shared module demos. This is the path where the zip file was extracted to. And let's have a look at the pack monster. We go into the pack subfolder and let's try to list the contents of that file. Nothing. It is blank, it's empty, there's nothing inside it. Because that's what the author of the module thought would be a good default. A blank compendium for you to populate. But if you update that, you will lose everything you populated. Now this is the reason why it is a super bad idea to go into the world and to unlock, for example, let's manage modules, a demo module is enabled, so we should have shared module demo for the monsters. Now we've added something. Let's go again. Foundry data modules, and we know it's inside the shared module demo, so that's the module name. Within that, that's a packs, and if we we see now something is inside here. So it's basically 2 lines, but that's because how Foundry processes these. It will be reduced to 1 line if you shut down the server. But now there's content inside it. Okay, that's cool. Let's close it and do not save the change wrongly introduced. And let's update again. We return to setup. It's the way I set up these things. There's always an update. Let's do that. Okay, again, installed successfully. Where is our goblin? We need our goblin. And it's gone. So everything is reset back to the start. When you update something, you get the content that the module provides, not the content that you had. It will not be merged automatically. Just swipe, reinstall, swipe, reinstall. So again, that's a super bad idea to use compendium with logs. No, better. It's a super bad idea to use compendia that you do not control. So we are a bit in a weird state. We've got our Monday, Wednesday, Friday group. We want to have some data and share this data across all 3 worlds. We cannot use compendium packs provided by systems or modules that we do not own, that we do not control, that we haven't written. We cannot use compendium packs created manually using the web interface because they are specific to the world that we had started when we created the compendium. It belongs to that world, not to the other 2. There is no solution to that. Here you are wrong, my friend, because you can be a model. It's not super hard, and you will learn something along the way. Because I always said, and Foundry even says that, this module does not belong to you. Are you sure you want to proceed? And I will put you into the position where you can say, yes, of course I'm sure. I know what I'm doing. I'm not stupid, you know. Okay, now let's do that. There are 2 possible ways. The first one is to search for Reddit shared module, and you will come across the first hit on Google. Bing, Bing. Will be a textual description of what to do to create a shared module on your own. What is a shared module, you might ask? Okay, shared module is something that I define. Perhaps it's not really the best name for it, but it's a tiny module for sharing content between worlds. That's what you want to do. You basically make a very, very tiny module, which has no logic, because logic would require at one point in time an update. You will need to change something because Foundry developed or changed, and you need to adapt to those changes. But you will not use logic, you will not use JavaScript at all. All you need to know is how to describe a module that Foundry understands it. Second option, you will use a graphical editor to create your shared module. For that, I've created something on vtti.io. So if you head there and you need to log in, so let's go to demo it. Okay, you need to log in. You go to vtti.io. There you sign in with a Google account, use whatever. You can go to my profile, actually see the amount of data that I store about you is very, very minimal, and I will never sell your data. So if you go to tools after logging in, it's only display registered user. You go to shared module generator, and there you can easily create your own module without typing a single line of JSON or description. And you will be able to adjust the module to your liking. On the right hand side, you can see a preview about how it would appear on the sidebar as within Foundry. So per default, you will have a monster compendium, an items, and a spell compendium. So I think that's reasonable, Booker, but your mileage may vary because you might want to need townspeople for Jim, Jack, Joe, and Jill. And these are of type actor, so you can just add it. So you got town people. Or you don't need spells, so you can remove that. You can name your pack, select an entity type just like within Foundry, and you can rename your module to your liking. When you are satisfied, you can just hit generate link, and then basically what it does, it will translate what you configured in the graphical user interface into some kind of packet description. If you copy it with a right hand side, top, bottom, right, copy the clipboard link, button, and when you go to the setup within your Foundry server where you install your modules, you've got this tiny text field on the bottom again, where you can just paste the generator URL and it will be created for you. Share data. You see, it has no check update button because all the information is missing to update it. It should never be updated because again, update means delete. Delete is very bad. You don't want that. So no update mechanism. Your data is safe. It belongs to you. You created that. And it doesn't necessarily mean you created it by using a text editor, but you created your very own personal module with the configuration that you wanted, and you installed it using your personal link generated for you. So it's really yours. There is no way anyone can interfere with it. No update. So when we launch a world now, the only thing that we need to do on each world that we want to use these modules, we need to enable the module. So manage modules, enable shared data. And you can see that we got, for example, our town people from shared data. And you can safely unlock it now. So toggle edit log. Are you sure? Yes, I am. And you can make changes to this compendium, and you can enable your module in any world you own, and you will have the same content in. And that's the most easy way to create your own shared module. And this ends our deep dive. Let's recap a bit. What have we learned so far? We know now that compendiums, as anything within Foundry, is basically just a file residing on your file system. And when you delete a file, it's gone. And this is exactly happening when you update a module or a game system. Foundry removes everything, downloads the zip file, and unpacks the contents of the zip file in the original location. So it will always be reset to the state that the author published. So you download it from the author's website, you unpack it. That's the data you have. If you change the data, your changes are gone. We know now that the logs are a vital part in hindering you to lose data. Most people are very thorough and edit their actors and monsters and spells to their liking, and it would be disastrous to lose all this progress. So you know now why these logs are super important. And I've shown you two possible ways to circumvent the issue, to have like the dilemma of trying to share data across worlds but having no real tool to use that. You know now that a shared module will help you. And I've provided you with two instructions or two possible ways to create your shared module, either manually by following the Reddit post or by using the editor. And I think that's a great result. You know now a lot more about the updating mechanism in Foundry. You've learned a little bit about how modules are actually structured, like the description and the manifest or module.json, and the actual file system structure that is described there. You know now how Foundry knows about new versions because it just compares the version number in this module.json with the one linked in it. And I think you learned, well, that's enough. That's enough for today, I think. Thank you for following, and I hope you enjoyed that. If you like these more technical deep dives, please comment on it. I kind of promise that I publish them regularly, but this shared module will be a vital part of the new tools. Therefore, I was a little bit more thorough than probably as needed. But I hope you enjoyed it either way. Take care, everyone.